Yes.
Okay, what did he do to you there?
He grabbed my hair. He grabbed my hair here. He pulled my shirt.
No, we're gonna start first at
Okay.
8:25.
He grabbed my shirt.
Dez Bryant, a young rising star on the NFL field, saw his world turn upside down when his mother, Angela Bryant, came forward with a shocking revelation that shook everyone. She accused Dez of assaulting her brutally, and as a result, Dez's followers and fans turned into his haters. But before we proceed, make sure to subscribe if you already haven't. Bryant's early years were anything but easy. Born to a teenage mother named Angela, his childhood was marked by hardship and instability. When Dez was just 8 years old, his mother was arrested for dealing crack cocaine, an event that would shake any child's world. With Angela in trouble with the law, Dez was left to fend for himself in many ways. His life quickly became a series of moves, bouncing from one home to another. By the time he was in high school at Lufkin High, Dez had already lived in 8 different homes, never having a true place to call his own. Despite these challenges, Dez found a way to shine on the football field, but his troubles didn't end there. As he made a name for himself as a student athlete, he found himself caught up in another controversy. In March 2011, Bryant was sued for a hefty sum, $861,350 to be exact. The lawsuit was over unpaid bills, mostly for jewelry he had acquired on credit while still a student. It was a big number that caught everyone's attention, and the legal battle was something he could hardly afford, both financially and in terms of his reputation. Eventually, the case was settled out of court for a much lower amount, somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000. On July 16, 2012, Bryant found himself in serious legal trouble. He was arrested on a Class A misdemeanor domestic violence charge after allegedly striking his own mother, Angela Bryant, during a heated argument. The news shocked many of his fans and created a wave of negative publicity that was hard to ignore. It was a moment that put a harsh spotlight on Dez, showing a side of his life that was far from the football field. But by March 2013, Dez was trying to make a change. He stepped forward at an event for Dallas Men Against Abuse, where he spoke publicly about his commitment to turning his life around. At the event, he made a strong statement: "I'm done with domestic abuse." These words were his attempt to move beyond the controversy, to show that he was willing to learn from his mistakes and become a better person. 2 years later, on August 28, 2014, Dez took another step in a different direction. He launched his own brand and apparel line, called Throw Up the X, a nod to his signature touchdown celebration. This move was more than just a business venture. It was Dez's way of building his own identity outside of football, using his fame to create something positive and lasting. However, the controversy seemed to follow Dez. On June 22, 2016, he was sued by Texas State Senator Royce West. The senator claimed that Dez had caused significant damage to a house he had rented in DeSoto, Texas. The damages to the property were reported to be over $60,000, and this legal battle added yet another chapter to Dez Bryant's complex and often turbulent story.
At 6 o'clock, Dez Bryant on the defense. The wide receiver sued now by his former landlord, State Senator Royce West.
Although his controversies are pretty shady, his career was a good one. On November 5, 2009, Bryant made it official that he was entering the 2010 NFL Draft. Many believed he was the best wide receiver available, and most thought he'd be picked early. If he wasn't chosen by the Denver Broncos, it was expected that he wouldn't fall lower than the 27th pick, which belonged to the Dallas Cowboys. As the draft unfolded, Bryant began to slip due to concerns about his character. The Cowboys, not wanting to miss out on such a talent, decided to make a move. They traded up with the New England Patriots, jumping from the 27th spot to the 24th to grab Bryant. To make this happen, they sent their third-round pick to the Patriots and received a fourth-round pick in return. The Cowboys signed Bryant to a 5-year deal on July 22, 2010, which was very similar to the contract given to Vikings wide receiver Percy Harvin, totaling $12.05 million, with about $8.4 million guaranteed. Just a day later, it was announced that Bryant would wear the iconic 88 jersey, following in the footsteps of Cowboys legends Michael Irvin and Drew Pearson. Bryant made his NFL debut on September 12th against the Washington Redskins, catching 8 passes for 56 yards. This set a franchise record for the most receptions by a player in their first game. In his next game, he showed his versatility by returning a punt for a touchdown in a close loss to the Chicago Bears. On October 17th, Bryant caught his first NFL touchdown pass from Tony Romo, a 31-yard strike, although the Cowboys narrowly lost that game. Bryant's breakout moment came during a Monday Night Football game against the New York Giants on October 25th. He caught 4 passes for 54 yards, including 2 touchdowns, and returned a punt 93 yards for another score. This made him the youngest Cowboys receiver ever to score 3 touchdowns in a single game, breaking Michael Irvin's record from 1988. On November 15th, he became the first Cowboys rookie since 2002 to have a 100-yard receiving game, with 3 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. Unfortunately, his rookie season ended on a tough note. During a game against the Indianapolis Colts, Bryant fractured his ankle while being tackled on a kickoff return. He was immediately taken to the locker room and placed on the injured reserve list, undergoing surgery shortly after. He finished that game with 1 catch for 14 yards and averaged 35.7 yards on 3 kickoff returns. Bryant ended his rookie season with 45 receptions for 561 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. He also became the first Cowboys rookie since 1993 to have multiple punt returns for touchdowns in the same season. For his impressive performance, he was named to the NFL All-Rookie team for 2010. He was unstoppable. With Roy Williams leaving the Cowboys, Bryant got his chance to step up and became a starting wide receiver alongside Miles Austin. In the 2011 season, Bryant showed what he was made of, finishing with 63 catches for 928 yards and 9 touchdowns. He was second on the team in all those categories and even took on some punt return duties. Bryant started the season strong with 4 catches for 85 yards in a rare Wednesday night opener against the New York Giants, helping the Cowboys win 24-17. In Week 4, despite a tough 34-18 loss to the Chicago Bears, Bryant stood out with 8 receptions for 105 yards. After the Week 5 bye, he had a breakout performance in Week 6 against the Baltimore Ravens, catching 13 passes, a career high, including 2 touchdowns. One of those touchdowns came with just 32 seconds left, bringing the Cowboys within 2 points at 31-29. However, after a missed 2-point conversion and a failed 51-yard field goal attempt by Dan Bailey, the Cowboys narrowly lost. During September and October, Bryant faced criticism for dropping passes, fumbling, and running poor routes. However, he began to turn things around in Week 8 against the Giants, with 110 yards on 5 catches. He almost caught a game-winning Hail Mary pass, but it was reversed because his hand was just out of bounds. In Week 11, he had 12 catches for 145 yards against the Cleveland Browns. In Week 12, against Washington, he added 8 receptions for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, even though the Cowboys lost 38-31. Bryant's best game that season came in Week 16 against the New Orleans Saints, where he racked up 9 receptions for a career-high 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. This performance tied a franchise record for most consecutive games with a touchdown reception, matching Franklin Clark, Bob Hayes, and Terrell Owens. His 224 receiving yards were the 4th most in a single game in Cowboys history at that time. By the end of the 2012 season, Bryant had 92 catches for 382 yards and 12 touchdowns, ranking 10th, 6th, and 3rd among all NFL receivers, respectively. He also set a franchise record with 4 games in a single season, with multiple receiving touchdowns. Despite these impressive stats, Bryant battled through several injuries during the second half of the season. He injured his finger in early December, but decided to keep playing, saying opponents would have to break my leg to keep me out. In the final game of the season against the Redskins, he left the game with a back injury, and head coach Jason Garrett mentioned that Bryant could barely walk afterward. Despite the challenges, Bryant's efforts were recognized by his peers, who ranked him 35th on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2013. In Week 2 of the 2013 season, Bryant showed his skills with 9 catches for 141 yards and a touchdown, but the Cowboys still fell short in a close 17-16 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. In a wild Week 5 game against the Denver Broncos, where both teams were scoring back and forth, Bryant grabbed 6 passes for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns, though the Cowboys lost 51-48. A few weeks later, in a game against the Philadelphia Eagles, he made 8 catches for 110 yards, helping Dallas secure a 17-3 win. In the next matchup, a tight 31-30 loss to the Detroit Lions, he hauled in 2 more touchdowns with 72 receiving yards. Later, in Week 15 against the Green Bay Packers, Bryant caught a season-high 11 passes for 153 yards and a touchdown, but the Cowboys narrowly lost 37-36. Despite Bryant's efforts, the Cowboys finished the season at 8-8 and missed the playoffs. Bryant started all 16 games that season and set new career highs with 93 catches and 13 touchdowns, alongside 1,233 receiving yards. His stats placed him 8th in catches, 13th in yards, and 3rd in touchdowns among all NFL receivers. For his performance, he earned his first Pro Bowl selection and was ranked 25th on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2014. Entering the final year of his rookie contract in 2014, Bryant had the most productive season of his career. He caught 88 passes for 1,320 yards and 16 touchdowns, leading the NFL and breaking Terrell Owens' franchise record of 15 touchdown receptions. His stellar play earned him a 2nd consecutive Pro Bowl selection and first-team All-Pro honors. The 2014 season started with a rough Week 1 loss to the San Francisco 49ers, where Bryant managed 5 catches for 55 yards. But things quickly turned around as the Cowboys went on a 6-game winning streak. During this stretch, Bryant was on fire, catching 41 passes for 535 yards and 4 touchdowns. In Week 8, during a game against the Washington Redskins, quarterback Tony Romo was injured, causing the Cowboys' offense to struggle under backup Brandon Weeden. Bryant's production dipped, but when Romo returned against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Bryant's numbers soared. He recorded 6 catches for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns in just the second quarter, marking the most productive quarter of his career. With Romo back for the remaining games, the Cowboys dominated, and Bryant racked up 32 catches for 527 yards and 8 touchdowns. In Week 12, he caught a crucial late-game touchdown against the New York Giants, securing a 31-28 win. Bryant's performance earned him NFC Offensive Player of the Week for Week 15. The Cowboys finished the season 12-4, tying for the most wins in the NFL. Making the playoffs for the first time since 2009, Bryant played his first postseason game against the Detroit Lions. Despite facing constant double coverage, the Cowboys adjusted, and their offense rallied for a 24-20 comeback win after being down 20-7 in the third quarter. The game had its share of controversy, with a questionable pass interference call that was reversed, giving the Cowboys a chance to drive for the winning score. In the divisional round against the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys lost a close 26-21 game marked by another controversial call. On a crucial 4th and 2, Bryant made a 31-yard catch that was initially ruled complete, but after a challenge by the Packers, it was overturned as incomplete. The NFL later confirmed that the call was correct by stating that Bryant did not maintain control of the ball throughout the entire process of going to the ground. Despite the disappointing finish, Bryant was ranked 15th on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2015, recognizing his incredible impact on the field. His injuries tried putting an end to him. On March 3, 2015, the Cowboys put a non-exclusive franchise tag on Bryant worth $12,123 million. A few months later, on July 15th, Bryant and the Cowboys agreed on a 5-year, $70 million contract, which included $45 million in guaranteed money and a $20 million signing bonus. In the regular season opener on Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants, Bryant had to leave the game with a foot injury. X-rays showed a fracture that needed surgery, and doctors estimated a recovery time of 4 to 6 weeks. He returned in Week 8 against the Seattle Seahawks, but struggled, making only 2 catches for 12 yards in a 13-12 loss. The following week, Bryant caught his first touchdown of the season and totaled 5 catches for 104 yards, but the Cowboys still lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, 33-27. Limited to 9 games in 2015, Bryant finished the season with 31 receptions for 401 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was ranked 51st on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2016 and underwent foot and ankle surgeries in January 2016. Bryant's merchandise was the top seller for a wide receiver that season, and he was 5th overall, only behind Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. The 2016 season brought a new starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, after Tony Romo suffered a back injury in the preseason. Bryant started slowly, with only 1 reception for 8 yards in a season-opening loss to the New York Giants. He bounced back in Week 2, recording 7 catches for 102 yards in a win over the Washington Redskins. In Week 3 against the Chicago Bears, Bryant suffered a hairline fracture in his knee, which kept him out for several weeks. He returned in Week 8 and finished the season with 50 receptions for 796 yards and a team-high 8 touchdowns in 13 games. The Cowboys had a strong season, finishing with a 13-3 record and winning the NFC East. Bryant's best game of the season came in the divisional round of the playoffs against the Green Bay Packers, where he caught 9 passes for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns in a narrow 34-31 loss. He earned his 3rd Pro Bowl selection, replacing Julio Jones, who couldn't participate due to the Falcons making it to the Super Bowl. Bryant was ranked 60th on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2017. In the 2017 season, Bryant started strong, scoring a touchdown in 4 of the team's first 6 games. During a Week 9 win over the Kansas City Chiefs, he sprained his ankle and missed the rest of the game. Later, in a game against the Washington Redskins, he broke Bob Hayes' Cowboys franchise record for receiving touchdowns. Bryant played all 16 games that season, recording 69 catches for 838 yards and 6 touchdowns, but the Cowboys finished 9-7 and missed the playoffs. After 8 seasons with the team, the Cowboys released Bryant on April 13, 2018. On November 7, 2018, 9 weeks into the season, Bryant signed a 1-year, $1.25 million deal with the New Orleans Saints. Unfortunately, just 2 days after joining the team, he tore his Achilles tendon during practice. This injury put him on injured reserve the next day, ending his season without playing a single game for the Saints. In October 2019, Bryant announced that he was focused on rehabbing and training throughout the season. He made it clear that he wasn't planning to retire and hoped to return to football in 2019, but he didn't end up signing with any team that year. On October 27, 2020, Bryant signed with the Baltimore Ravens practice squad. He was briefly moved up to the active roster for the games in Weeks 9 and 10 against the Indianapolis Colts and Tennessee Titans, but returned to the practice squad after each game. In the game against the Titans, Bryant made his first reception since 2017, a 4-yard catch. He finished that game with a season-high 4 catches for 28 yards in a 30-24 overtime loss. He was promoted to the active roster on November 28th. Just before the Week 13 game against his former team, the Dallas Cowboys, Bryant tested positive for COVID-19 and was unable to play. He was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list on December 10th, but he was activated again on December 15th. In Week 15, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Bryant caught an 11-yard touchdown pass, his first since 2017, helping the Ravens win 40-14. The next week, he caught another touchdown pass in a 27-13 win over the New York Giants. Bryant finished the 2020 season with 6 receptions for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is it for this one. But if you happen to like NFL legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel NFL Icons. I'm sure you will love it.